Hey, man, is it 2025?
It is, man. And it's feeling like it. It's feeling like 2025, bro. It's heating up already.
Well. So some of the countries heating up, and some of the countries freezing. But
Yeah. Boy,
another time.
Boy, that's like a Kendrick Lamar double entendre you drop right there. What about a triple entendre?
Bars.
That's some bars, man.
Hey,
drop some bars with that. Freezing and heating up, okay.
But hey, look. Speaking of bars, we got somebody with some bars that I don't know, man. Some things going on, man. Drake in the news. Steady in the news. Drake in the news. Lawsuits going forward. Getting mad at us celebrity friends. You know what I mean? And then we got support for Drake against his celebrity friends.
Some awkward support,
used to be friends,
man.
Yeah.
A very uncomfortable support.
You just brought something to my attention. I wasn't aware of this. Was this new? That this this drop? This is I didn't see the time of the video I just watched.
I think today. Maybe it's an old clip, and you know how people clip up their podcasts and stuff. So it could be a clip from a podcast or the actual just a redrop. It looked like a live, so it's probably clipped up.
Yeah. So you mentioned something to me this morning. I had to hop on it and check out, see what was going on. So it's DJ Akademiks. Let me see if I get this right. Is going off on LeBron James, getting kind of in the middle of LeBron and Drake's beef. Believe it or not, LeBron and Drake is having beef. Because LeBron during his 40th birthday was partying and dancing and singing along to a Kendrick record, or a couple of Kendrick records, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and that didn't sit well for Drake, especially when Drake's in the middle of this whole lawsuit with was it Sony, right? Sony?
No.
UMG?
What's
Universal Music
UMG?
Group.
Yeah.
UMG. And I'm pretty sure that didn't sit well. Drake's in the middle of this lawsuit trying to get this going, and you got one of the biggest stars, not just NBA stars, but one of the biggest recognizable figures in the world, I guess, bigging up Kendrick Lamar in some kind of sense, you know, his 40th birthday, and he knows the lyrics for once.
Yeah.
He actually knows the lyrics. And I think that's probably what Drake probably took the most offense to, because LeBron never knows the lyrics to these songs, but he was bar for bar with Kendrick's joint. So
right. And that's coming off of the pop-out concert that he was front row. He didn't get on stage, but he did show up front row for
so it's seeming to be in support of Kendrick Lamar at this. It's Drake's cremation. But hey, he seems like he's in support of Kendrick Lamar. And Drake and LeBron was buddy at some instances and throughout, you know what I'm saying, Drake's courtside all the time, you know, Toronto. Anytime that LeBron's in Toronto, it's always been chummy, buddy in the music videos. We've seen this, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been a Drake support from LeBron and LeBron support from Drake. Now we got a falling out, it seems like. And DJ Akademiks is throwing himself in the middle of it. In crash out mode. Crashing out. In crash out mode. But this is like the whole thing I just watched. It's like it's twofold, or maybe even threefold. Three different angles you can go with this. And what in the world is going on? One, for somebody in support of another individual, and the way he's in support, but it seems like, you know, you're going too far. Like this is against code. Man, you know, for one. And then two,
big time against code.
It's like, okay, but do we want to see LeBron go out like this? Like, if this is actually true information, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been clean cut for 20+ years. Another one bites the dust.
But it ain't got to.
It ain't got.
He's biting the dust because his peers are selling them out.
Yeah.
Like, is falling under crabs in a bucket? Get down here with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. It's not paparazzi that's causing it
per se.
It's not getting caught up that's catching it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. it's a big crab named Drake said, "Get down here with me," and Akademiks said, "I'm a supporter of this crab, so I'm gonna help him." You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And I guess this is all. We got to add some context to it, man. I don't want to get too deep into the context, but the context of it is the backstory is Drake dropped a freestyle kind of implying some stuff about LeBron and potential infidelity in his relationship. And now Akademiks is co-signing it. You know what I'm saying? And saying his 2 cents of what he know and why LeBron is wrong instead of Drake being wrong, and what Drake did is okay. Like, and it's like, hey, man, LeBron was the cleanest out of all of them. All of them. I mean, you go back to the 60s on forward, however long, the ABA, all that, he been the cleanest out of all of them.
Yeah, because we already know Mike. Yeah, Mike, he's had his scandals. He has.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mike's had his scandals. Our biggest stars. You know what I'm saying? We go with Kobe. Kobe had his scandals. Shaq got his scandals.
I mean, Ron is the only GOAT without
Dwayne Wade got his scandals. Yeah.
Dwayne Wade got his scandals. Magic, the biggest scandal of them all. Like,
yeah.
Everybody. Like all the GOATs. I don't know, maybe Bird hasn't had one, but people don't even put him in that conversation no more. So, everybody's had him. In Bron,
and to be the GOAT on that level, on that GOAT conversation, to be so clean for so many years, especially coming in the league at 18, been under the microscope since you was 16, to not have any scandals, and for
that was my biggest compliment
20,
to him.
20 plus.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, my biggest compliment to him was the fact he kept it clean, he kept it real with his old lady and she been with him from the jump. He ain't put her through no mess where she got to be out here embarrassing her and stuff like that. Like, so when Shaq and Kobe was partnered up and Kobe threw Shaq under the bus, Shaq made a comment back in the day, something about being a respectful cheater. And that sounded crazy to people at the time. But I knew exactly what he meant by it. You know what I'm saying? And there is such thing as being a respectful cheater. You know what I'm saying? So,
whether you agree or not.
If Bron was being one, he was at least respectful about it.
Yeah. The information wasn't out there. He ain't had Savannah out looking crazy. You know what I mean?
No side babies,
No side that we know of.
You know what I'm saying? He kept a clean image. However he kept it clean, he was clean. Whether it was because he won't doing nothing or whether he just cleaned up behind himself.
Clean to the public.
Why now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why muddy that up? Why destroy that?
Well, like, this is why. Because of the lob of 2024. The lob of 2024. And here we are in the top of 2025. It's all coming crashing down. That's what it seems like to me. It's that Cat Williams residual. Just snowballing out of control. To where you got the whole Diddy situation. We already seen Drake's name being brought up in certain things. Kendrick Lamar comes around. We've heard some implications. I've heard implications of LeBron being involved with the whole Jay-Z, Diddy, that whole camp, all of those things. And to me, it just seems like a snowball effect that now, hey, look, even the celebrities are crashing out now because everybody got these skeletons in their closet and bones are falling out little bit by little bit. So crabs in the barrel type of thing. So Drake might feel like, hey, look, it's coming crashing down. Bron, you coming with me?
Man, Bron ain't deserve it, man. Bron ain't deserve to come with you, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just don't deserve it. Because he danced to a song publicly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he actually was friends with all of y'all, whether you realize it or not. Just because Kendrick threw him on his body don't mean that Bron won't cool with all of them.
Cool with him.
Pictures with Kendrick and LeBron together.
But here's the thing: what do we know? What do we know about Drake personality?
Yeah, the same thing I never liked about him. This disgusts me.
I hate to say like that.
Now that I gave him a pass, everybody's on his heels now. It's just like, come on, man! Like, y'all should have jumped down his throat earlier, man. Like,
and no diss to any females, but like I said, to me, that's female behavior. That's what females do. It is. It is. I'm down. You got to come down too. I'm going through.
Or
Guess what? I'm gonna throw
nerdy
you
Jewish Canadian kids. I don't know which one is it. Is it females or nerdy Jewish Canadian kids? Which one is it?
The combination of the two.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? You had that nerdy kid in school. He might have got in trouble. He gonna snitch. He gonna tell him. He gonna be a tattletale. Yeah. That's what it seems like. Tattletale behavior.
It's definitely tattletaling, man. Tattletaling, man. Like, hey, look, man. Snitching is really about we do crime together. You get caught. You don't tell on me. Mm-hmm. This is snitching at its finest. It's dry snitching right now. You know what I'm saying? But what Akademiks did is direct snitching.
Like, yeah. Because like it's information that nobody's asking for. Nobody's necessarily seeking this information, right? So like when you talk about dry snitching or whatever snitch, like okay, somebody comes to you, hey, did you hear about like what's going on with Lebron? I heard Lebron was doing this thing. Yeah, blah 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 blah. And you spilled the beans. But nobody was seeking the information. Nobody's seeking the information. No. You just offered it up. Here you go.
Take them.
He's gotta be the worst.
He's a jerk too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the only douche. He's a douche too. Look what he does. He cheats on his wife.
That's the worst. That's the worst kind. That's the worst kind, bro. Why are we talking about me?
He did the Kobe, actually. He did the Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But Kobe's another French kid or Italian kid or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why we had it took me forever to come around to Kobe. Yeah.
Him too.
He a sleazebag. He cheat on his wife too. He just pay him off. Like, it's like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? What we doing, homie? Like,
like, man, let me get caught on my own, man. Like, dude, really?
And that don't just apply with cheating. That's anything though, across the board.
It's anything.
He cheated on his test too. What you mean I cheated, bro? Nah, man, I ain't cheating. Like,
you got caught. I didn't get caught.
Yeah.
But hey, look, man, that's to me, I feel like that's an implication of 2025 and how 2025 is probably gonna go. I think we're getting we getting a rev up. It's the rev up.
Hey man, I'm gonna give a shout out to 03 DVR. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Cause 03D, you back in 2003, right? I remember we was all sitting around behind the car and the cops came up on us. And you were like, can they get me too? Like, because you was the only one that was clean.
But
you the only one that was clean.
Too? I ain't drinking.
But you didn't tell on us though. But you just wanted to confirm. Hey, am I good? Can they get me too?
Can they get me too?
That was you ain't let me live. You could have ratted us out, but you didn't rat us out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, man, they got the bottles of liquor in the trunk. They was the ones who was drinking. Hey, look, you can breathalyze me. I ain't had not one drink. I don't even drink.
You let me go. Drink. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but damn.
But they the ones, man. Look out, he can't even walk a straight line. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. You just
I kept my mouth shut. But hey, look, I want to know. Hey, look, am I getting arrested? Can they get me?
Just a difference in character, man. Like,
yeah,
I was concerned about my well-being, but I'm not gonna mess nobody else's well-being up in the process. Like,
I should throw y'all under the bus. Now, but look, man, that was a different time, and now 2025 is a different time.
Yeah,
the character of men are at an all-time weirdness, like we talked about the last episode. Weird behavior. There's no tolerance for weird behavior.
And you know, you touched on
and you touched on what?
Now I'm saying, and you touched on at the end of that episode, you made a fantastic point when you said that this generation is what the next generation has to look up to and define what being great is. You know what I'm saying? So they're examples of it. Not gonna be us, the unk stage. It's only a couple that's gonna study their unks and grandfathers and stuff. The rest of them going to study the peer just above them. I mean, their peers just above, not even their peers, but the age group just slightly above them. That's who they really going to study.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you in middle school, you study the cool high school. Like the big bro. They checking for big bro.
Yeah. Now, or pops or grandpops. They checking for big bro.
Yeah.
And big bro ain't looking too right.
Nah, man, they dropping the ball big time, man.
And here's the problem. Like even with like a Drake and LeBron, you're unk status. You're unk.
They are unks. Yeah.
But you're staying in the realm of big bro. It's time for them to shed all of that other behavior, whatever it is. That I mean, we thought LeBron was, you know what I'm saying, more on the unk side. You know what I'm saying, a little wiser with his moves. But if what they're saying is true, you know what I'm saying, and we start seeing some weird behavior pop up behind this, now we're seeing those who should have graduated into unk status kind of stay in that big bro lane a little bit too long. I already know Drake's in that big bro lane a little too long. He wants to be little bro. You know what I'm saying?
I saw somebody call him unk, and he got offended by it. He was like, bro, who you calling unk, bro? Who you calling unk? What you mean unk? And it's like, nah, bro, you are unk, whether you recognize it or not. But that's the problem. You don't want to be acknowledged as what you are and embrace it. And Nas made a song a long time ago that influenced us called Second Childhood. We discuss it all the time. Yep. You can't get stuck in your stages of life for too long, man.
Yeah, whether it's that
way too
adulthood phase or that childhood phase. You gotta let the ebb and flow grow. Like you gotta go back and forth, and you gotta step your way through it. We know we know all too well. We know all too well,
man. And when you get stuck in the stage for too long, that things go bad. Things go bad. And Drake is going bad. And the only reason it's able to go bad is because somebody pointed the finger. Somebody his size or close to his size pointed the finger and said, "Hey, bro, you in your childhood too long." And then everybody else was like, oh snap, he is missing the stage. Look at him. And then you start looking lame.
He is almost 40. He ain't where he's supposed to be, technically.
Yeah.
We're not gonna excuse that behavior anymore. Because people like they realize, bro, you unk. You ain't acting like unk.
Boy.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be a wild ride, man. I'm ready to see where this thing is gonna go. 2025 shaping up. It's gonna be interesting. We already see some interesting things going on around the world, around the country. We're gonna talk about some of those things, but before we get into the rest of everything else, let's talk about these cigars, man. What we smoking today?
Man, me myself, I got H. Upman, AJ Fernandez Heritage.
Okay. Let me see what that
I feel like I probably have had this cigar before, maybe even on the show. I can't even recall right now.
Okay.
But what I will say, get me out of it. Is it close enough?
I got a decent look at it. I can tell which one we got.
Yeah, Nicaragua, 1844. Let me sit this down for a second, and I did pull my little specs up. Let me give them to you. It is a Brazilian wrapper, Nicaraguan origin, and Nicaraguan binder filler also.
Okay.
So that's what I got on that.
Any spice on that?
Yeah.
Anytime I hear Brazilian, I always go straight to spice immediately.
It's some spice.
Okay.
Not crazy spice, but a good the amount of spice you want. If somebody was cooking my food and they just give you a little tingle on your tongue, that's the right amount of spice for me. I don't want to sweat. You know what I'm saying? So it's not sweating. It's just enough to add another layer, another element to the dish. You know what I'm saying? To just make it like, okay, we hit everything with that. So, hey man, this cigar, I feel like I've had it in the past now that I'm smoking it, but I can't say for certain, but I feel like I feel better about it this time than I did in the past. Like I'm on a nice little high right now. You know what I'm saying?
They got that cigar high, that cigar buzz. Nice.
Not even the buzz, even the buzz, just the enjoyment. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, enjoyment. I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you got an H. Upman, because guess what I went and did? I doubled back. I had the
punch.
I had to circle the block, man. No, it's the H. Upman 180th anniversary.
Oh.
I had to circle the block. I had to circle back. That made my top 5. Remember? Made my top 5.
Yeah.
At the tail end of the year, I ran into it again at Cigars International, and I had to grab it again. And when I picked it up and I took it to the counter, I was like, man, you got some good taste. That's some good taste.
He knew.
I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's one of my top 5s, man. I told him it was one of my top 5s. So I had to go back and get it. It's up there. Love it. So I'm definitely going to enjoy that one on my own time. I smoked it on the show. I'm going to enjoy that one on my own time. I can't wait to get back to it. But what I am smoking today, man, you see the title. I saw the name. And you was like, you know what? Ashton has a good ring to it. I always love seeing the name Ashton. It's one of those sticks from back in the day that brings back that nostalgia, that name that says, hey, this is a solid cigar. I looked at it, and I looked at the rest of them, right? Because all the other Ashtons were on the lower shelf. This one was on the higher shelf. So, of course, that sparked my interest. I looked at the price point. I said, this price point is $30. I haven't seen an Ashton in the $30 range. So I was compelled to grab it. So I don't know what it is, man, but these price points don't scare me as much as they used to. They don't scare me as much as they used to.
Because you expecting good things out of them.
Yeah, I am. I saw it, and without hesitation, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. It's Ashton. I like the name. And its price point is a lot different because everything else was 12, 15, and boom, 30. Why? I need to find out why. So I have the Ashton ESG, Estate Sungrown. So we got a Dominican sun-grown wrapper, Dominican Republic origin, binder and filler, all Dominican. So it's a Dominican sun-grown through and through. And so far, off of first puffs, as we've gotten the show going, this guy it's smoking like a $30 stick.
Oh yeah.
So I was expecting it to be a knockout blow because I know with sun-growns are usually higher in profile. I looked at the profile level and it said it is a full body cigar. But when it comes to a full body sun-grown, this is handling it almost with perfection. I've seen Rocky Patel even with sun-grown full body kind of like fumbling in a sense that I really can't smoke Rocky Patel sun-growns as I would like to. So when I saw sun-grown, I didn't know it was sun-grown when I first picked it up. When I started researching it, I saw sun-grown. I said, uh-oh. How's it gonna fare out? But it is it's nice. It's a nice ride. Rolls Royce smoothness with the sun-grown.
Okay.
To this point.
We know how they handle the speed bump though. I expect to hear good ratings. I think we're gonna have some excellent ratings at the end of this show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man.
The way I'm feeling as of now, I feel like I'm gonna go ahead and, do some good numbers today.
So check this out, man. So as I was picking up this cigar, I was like, man, Placencia, and hate to stay on Placencia's jock, but it is what it is. It's kind of forced me to get comfortable in looking for higher end cigars. At one point, I was okay with that lower end. Hey, there's so many great cigars that's at that lower price point. That's not as expensive, not as just in that upper tier that they can still smoke well. But now it has me searching and clamoring for higher end cigars. Like I actually look for it now. Jumping into Opus, even this Ashton. I have this other cigar I kind of showed you. I don't know if I'm going to get to it on a show or if I'm going to smoke it before then, but it's this La Aura. They have a bunch of these that come in this case, these kind of cases, different colors, sapphire, black, ruby, and they're all like $28, $29, right? So I grabbed this one with the expectation. Yeah, La Aura.
La Aura.
Yeah, La
Aura, brother.
I don't know if you can see it. Can't see that. But yeah.
Yeah,
but they come in these cases and they are priced up, in the upper 20s, low 30s. And I grabbed that with the expectation of smoking that one today until I ran into Ashton. So I grabbed 3 sticks in the upper $20 to $30 range.
Yeah. Shoot, man, you're gonna hopefully be smoking good. But this is actually a good exercise also, because we've spent so much of the early episodes doing the exercise of showing people that you can smoke enjoyable cigars at a lower price point. Now it's a good exercise to see the other side, to see, is there really a difference? Because you got to see both sides of the spectrum. So is the $30 sticks actually a noticeable difference from a $12 stick? And is the value that you get worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I would say so far, my experience is a yes. Outside of a few cult favorites of mine, the My Fathers, the Olivas, you know what I'm saying, those guys, those are still consistent with even these higher price point cigars. But I would have to say that over the last few weeks of the ones I've smoked in that price point that's higher have fared well. And it's almost making me comfortable with saying, you know what? When it comes to vices, when it comes to daily activities, I don't do a lot of things. I don't buy a lot of clothes. I don't go out to clubs. You know what I'm saying? I don't go out to restaurants to eat like crazy.
Right.
I should be able to do this. I can do a $30 stick. This is my moment. You know what I'm saying? This is my event. You know, I don't go out to concerts. This is my event.
Right.
So why not invest to have a good hour and a half smoke, 2 hour smoke sometimes, that's at a good price point, that's going to give me the ride that I like?
Yeah.
Why not?
Good way to look at it. Good way to look at it, man. I mean, some people, spend $30 a day in food and they just eating fast food. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? You go to McDonald's and get you a egg McMuffin, McGriddle, whatever. Spend $10 on that. Then go out for lunch. Spend $15 at Wing Zone or whatever, Wingstop. Yeah. Then for dinner, do whatever and spend another $15. That's $40-$50 right there off just food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why not enjoy my ride? Why not ride smooth? So not saying it's going to be a constant for everything every time I smoke, but now I don't fear jumping into that realm more than not.
Yeah, definitely. Hey man, and I noticed something else on that tube for that La Aura you showed. The artwork on that really took me back to a place I used to like look for artwork like that had that tropical look to it, you know. Now I find myself in these prestigious royal looking bands and stuff that just got fonts and colors in it. But back in the day, that was something that drew me into a cigar. It was just that looks tropical. It made me feel like it was more Dominican when you use the type of artwork. More, you know what I'm saying? Like it's more true to the area. You know, this is more Nicaraguan. This is more Brazilian or Cuban or whatever. This
is straight from the fields of Nicaragua. The Esteli fields. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gave me that feeling when I would look at the artwork. And I bought a lot of cigars because of that. Now I don't even notice that. Yeah. I don't know if they're not even offering that as a typical artwork anymore. Or if I'm just ignoring it now.
They're out there.
Yeah.
They're still there. But now you're into more that royal type of that prestige look of cigar bands.
Yeah. It's just simple, classic look. You know what I'm saying? Just colors and font. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. But it gave me a memory though. Memory unlocked when you showed me that.
This one has flowers on it. It got a nice little water with some palm trees, some mountains in the background. This one got all kind of artwork on this one, on this Ashton.
Yeah. You see? So that's what I need like classic you during this winter time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this is perfect. Take me somewhere totally different than where I'm really at.
Man, speaking of winter time, hey man, how is that the freeze on the East Coast that y'all having?
I mean, it's been snowy. It's melting now, though. You know what I'm saying? So now at this point, it's just all ice and slush. You're walking around like just in a big slushy at this point in time. But you know, it's cold. It's cold. I can't tell the difference between my cigar and what I'm breathing at this point in time. So I look forward to ending the podcast.
little chilly, huh? A little chilly.
You know,
you know, a nice little fire pit, man. But hey, look, I mean, I can't empathize with you. I can only sympathize with you. You know what I'm saying? It's 50 degrees out here. You know what I'm saying? Sunny, sun's out. Nice little 55 degrees. You know, other part of Texas got snow. El Paso got snow. I think Houston got some snow. But us here in San Antonio,
but they further up north.
Yeah. But for us, we ain't get none of that. None of that. So I'm more so, I guess where I'm at is kind of like, you know, the East Coast is freezing, but we got something going on on the West Coast in California.
Yeah,
looks like the West Coast is burning, man.
The irony behind it, right?
West Coast is burning. West Coast is burning. Half the country is freezing.
Half is burning. Or as our engineer said, the West Coast is burning. But, you know, engineer fix that. but with that being said, though, that's crazy to think, man. Like, the U.S. is just divided. One half is ice and the other half is fire. And it's just like, what is going on? Like, you know, like it's insane to see.
Yeah, insane to see.
And definitely anybody that's lost their home in it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, your heart always goes out to people going through struggle like that, whether it's the hurricanes or the tornadoes or the blizzards or whatever, or at this point, the Palisade fires, you know, but
yeah,
man, it's crazy.
Yeah, and so not to make light of any tragedies, but just bringing to, I guess, the attention of just seeing what's going on in the world or in this country rather. And in some senses, it can be eye-opening, man. Like you said something to me, like maybe like in jest, but like, man, like what's going on in Hollywood that God ain't liking too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
No, the whole thing is burning over there, man. I mean, it went through a rough year last year, and now it's just fire the next year. 2024, like it was the tearing down of Hollywood as a structure and how people felt about it. Now it's burning over there. It's like, what is going on?
To me, like you just mentioned, that's kind of where I wanted to go with it, is the symbolism of it, of the burning down or the tearing down of some of the weirdness, the Holly weird that's been going on over the last few decades to a century or whatever. That, hey, are we seeing something that's kind of ironic in a sense and representative of some of the things we need to open our eyes to? Like, hey, look, man, there's some things that ain't right that we've been just passing off as it's cool, it's whatever. That's just the way things are. That should we still be looking at it as that, or should we be looking at it with a more intense lens to say, no, there's some things that we need to address, some things we need to recognize, some things that we need to understand, and stop letting it be a pass. Like we can't just say give it a pass that this is Hollywood. This is just the way the industry is, or this is the way culture is. Should we start to wake up to some of the things that we've been subjected to, whether we know that we have been subjected to it or not? It's like, hey, look, some things that we do know, and we be like, okay, that just is what it is. But there's some things that's kind of swept under the rug or kind of falling like as an underlining tone that we're not really even aware of or acknowledging to address, to say, no, we need to watch how we consume some of these things. What are we really supporting?
It's interesting to think about, right? Because Hollywood has had a lot of rumors on it for years that people just kind of like, that people look at as conspiracy. But I'm a believer, if a rumor doesn't go away, it's some type of truth to it. You know what I'm saying? How people say where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, because I think most lies go away after a while.
Pun intended?
It wasn't, but man, you know, the double entendre is becoming a thing now in this episode. Like,
word to Kendrick.
Word to Kendrick, you know, king of the coast. But it's like, for real though, if you really think about it, like most of the time, man, if it's some bull, it go away. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if it's some truth to it, it does stick around. And there's been rumors of the pedophilia rings and all this other stuff going on.
Yeah.
And that stuff sounds far-fetched until they don't go away. And then you start hearing more and more stories. And it gets complicated when you have like a Diddy story where it becomes so many what appears to be money grabs get mixed in with the real. So then it starts being like, it starts making people lean towards it being conspiracy still. But it does not negate that there's some truth in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, we might need to revisit how we really look at some of these conspiracies that was going around in Hollywood and see if there's any truth to it. Because you can go all the way back to the Wizard of Oz and how they were treating Dorothy. You know what I'm saying?
I watched the conspiracy on that. Whole lot of things.
What was the little girl who used to sit on the lap and not just her.
The Annie girl?
Yeah, that one. It's a lot of little weird sexual stuff that's been going on with kids in Hollywood for a long time, man. And
we already heard about Nickelodeon and things that was going on in Nickelodeon.
So a lot of creepy behavior, man, is we do have to reassess, man. And I think as a society we are beginning to do it, but it's still an obsession with Hollywood and entertainment that needs to be changed.
Like you mentioned, like where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's some truth to it. In my opinion, it's more than just where there's smoke, there's fire. It's more the iceberg type of thing. Like what you've seen is just the tip of the iceberg. Right. And what Hollywood in certain areas, even in people's lives, really, honestly, is, you found out about that. Okay, we'll let that rumor fly or whatever, because honestly, that's just a little bit of what's really going on. So we'll eat that. We'll eat that rumor. That's fine. We'll eat that rumor because everything else, you got me. But what you don't know is all these other things. I'm getting away with so much more than what you're even guessing on. So, man, you got me on that. Because that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that's underneath the surface that they know that's going on, or that's probably been going on, that they've been getting away with it. That, okay, we'll let these rumors kind of just, as long as it stays right there, keep them guessing a little bit. They might have got us on this, and they see that this is probably going on, but there's probably so much more that they're getting away with that's underneath the surface. The iceberg, but the what's below the surface of the water is so much more. That iceberg is so much bigger where you can't see it.
Yeah, and you know what? The conspiracy makes it better for them. The fact that there are conspiracy theories makes it better, because there will be so many people that don't believe it because it sounds like a conspiracy theory. So now they say, you got to be crazy to believe that. And then the people who are logical are going to go, you know what? You would have to be crazy to believe that. So now there's a division. As long as there's the division, they can keep the show going on as normal, because they don't have to come out and speak on it. They don't have to acknowledge it, because, hey, you would be crazy to believe that. But it does not negate that the truth is still the truth. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how crazy it sounds to say it. And there's no way to not sound crazy when you're saying something that sounds outrageous. But there are people, there's a saying that the truth is a whole lot crazier than the lie. You know what I'm saying? So I think the fact that there's so many conspiracy theories out there, it allows them to continue to get away with it.
Yeah, like I said, man. It's gonna be an interesting ride. Hey, did you hear that Cat Williams is supposed to have like a part 2 with Shannon Sharp?
Nah.
I heard that to be a rumor to be a thing, man. I heard about it like sometime last week. Like the episode was supposed to come out on like the 2nd or 3rd of January, but it didn't drop.
Yeah, it got pushed back.
But it's supposed to be a part 2.
I wonder where he's gonna go. I don't know. I don't know that I don't know that Cat has, I'm sure he's got more to tell, but I don't know that he has new angles, put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, to approach more of in the same vein. Will it have the same effect on snowballing? I don't know, but
I think it would.
I'm here to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it.
It would. I think it would add fuel. Hang on it. It would add fuel to the fire.
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't want to say that, but I think
we love y'all on the West Coast, man.
Hey, look,
it's
shout out
just
to the West
so
Coast,
many. It's so many different phrases that relate to
I really did.
they all
I really
relate to
did mean
fire
that.
for some reason. But yeah,
I'm not trying to make light of anything, but yeah, it would just add fuel to the fire. But I'd be interested to see. Hey, listen, do your thing again. Do your thing again.
yeah. Hey man,
popcorn ready.
Let me say this, man. Back to the fire thing. And this is what's crazy also. And this could just be crazy conspiracy talk, but I heard people saying that they're obviously the insurance agencies kind of changed some of the fire policies slightly in advance to this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't believe that's a coincidence. The conspiracy theories are coming out about that, about how they're denying people. And maybe they're not conspiracy theories. I can only call it that because I haven't read the documents to verify it. You know what I'm saying? But but I believe there's no accident that they ended up canceling people's fire portion of their claim or their insurance in advance, because like a year ago I seen a video where somebody re-released a clip from Joe Rogan where he had a firefighter up there saying, hey man, it's only a matter of time before a crazy flame breaks out and we can't do anything about it over here because of the conditions and the way everything is. So why would I not believe if the firefighters knew that the insurance agencies didn't know that also and said, hey man, now's a good time to get out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's change things now while we got time.
Yeah. Change our policies. I mean, by all means, why would they not be tapped into that? Especially if that's part of their industry to cover certain things like that. Like, hey, if I know that I have an area that's going to flood, like you think about New Orleans, right? And they know that the possibility of a flood that happens, okay, we've been into hurricane season. Let's kind of switch policies up a little bit to where things happen to where that flood insurance don't mean much of anything anymore.
Yeah, we're protected now.
Yeah. So it's protecting the big industry more so than the people, because they know they're going to have to pay out. They know they're going to pay out tons and tons of money. And what kind of industry wants to pay out tons and tons of money and go into the negative because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing? That doesn't make business sense.
No,
the business sense is to make money.
Yeah, and it's just crazy to think, man, that all these people pay all this money towards the insurance, and they have no intention of helping.
Yeah, insurance has always been a scam.
Post this situation in California, it makes the guy Luigi look more and more like a martyr than he ever. I mean, he already was to some people, but it just makes him look more like one now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to go with the whole Luigi thing, but yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what you got on him. We never discussed it. I mean, you got something on him?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay, man.
I just heard a little bit about the situation, you know what I'm saying, and how he got caught. Weird. Just some more, in my opinion, just some more weirdness. It just points to more weirdness.
And I just think which aspect of how he got caught?
I mean, not even just that part. Not even that part. I mean, that was weird in and of itself, but just the whole thing. I don't want to go into it too much. I don't have enough to speak on to actually really have a competent conversation about it. But I feel like insurance. I feel like all insurance anyway, whether it's car insurance, rental insurance, it's all whatever property insurance. Everything's a scam, man. It's
no different than Social Security. They fall in the same ballpark to me of what they're doing. I'm taking a bunch of your money with the intention of not giving it back to you.
Everything's a scam. Everything's a scam.
I'm going to take your money under the guise that I'm going to look out for you with it later on, and then I'm going to end up burning you later on. Then the bank use a similar system. Hey, I'm going to take your money and hold it here just in case something go wrong. But in the meantime, I'm going to be flipping it on the side over here because I don't do that to make money. So I'm just going to get rich off your money while I hold it here. And if something was to happen where I lost it, I'm only going to give you $100,000 back. Just so we clear. You know what I'm saying? And these are all just, and we fall for it. We fall for it. I don't know if I have Social Security one day, but I'm giving them all my money. Every chance I get, every time I get some money, I give it to them for it.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, like in a sense, we don't necessarily always fall for it more so than we're forced into it, because
today,
they tell us you have to do it in order to have a car and have it financed. You have to have a certain level of insurance on it, or to drive legally, you got to have another level of insurance on it. In order to rent a house, they make you get rentals insurance. You just it's like insurances or whatever it is that we have to subject ourselves to is kind of being forced on us to go into these scams. Now there's certain things that we can kind of, you know what I'm saying, get around without having to like indulge in these scams, but certain things, like you can't live a legitimate life without those scams. You almost can't. And you're gonna keep your money in the shoebox, you're gonna use a bank, or you're gonna use a credit union. And even credit unions are scams too. They're just a better scam than the bank is.
I get your point on it, but I still feel like if we just could come together, they can't pull it off. But we're divided because they sell us on the fear of it. Hey man, because back in the day you weren't obligated to the insurance, and now you're obligated to all forms of insurance. But it came down to, hey man, if he crash into you, ain't nobody gonna protect you. Maybe it's just fair if we all get it. And then they're like, yeah, that is right. You're right. We should all get it. Now we all gotta get it. And now that we all got it and they've monopolized it, they're able to control it. You know what I'm saying? And now all our power that we would have had is gone. But we all just agree to it. But we're the majority. The moment we say, no, we don't agree with that, they can't pull it off. Like,
yeah. But what's it going to take for everybody to get on one accord and go that route? You can't sell enough people that to be able to do it, because there's so much change that could happen in the world if we can all get on one accord. But we don't.
Hey man, I've said this in the past, and I think the closest we were ever going to get to it was TikTok, and now that's gone, because that was the platform that people got on to share information. You get on your other ones to go stunt and look good and cute or gossip, and you got on that one, and people passed along some real information to help people. And then that one, all of us dropping jewels, and then they like, you know what? China owns that. Get rid of that. You know, and that's the end of the information era. I don't know that the next
of it is that, like, for the longest, TikTok was just this kid app, or like a kiddie type of thing, gimmicky type of, okay, people get on there and do these dances or whatnot. Like, I don't care about TikTok, but now I really go to TikTok for most of my social media needs. Like, especially if I want content, I'll go to TikTok before I go to anything else, more so now, because you're fed more raw information and you get it at a higher rate, and the algorithm spin on it is better because you get information that, to me, like, you weren't necessarily looking for, but is more beneficial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get fast stuff like, oh wow. And then some stuff like you have the ability to find or curate your algorithm a lot better. Like, you get thrown more things, whether you agree with it or not. I've seen some crazy things like that's hogwash. That's some BS, whatever. And I've got some things that, like, oh, that's actually something to think about. I might not buy into it 100%, but that's something I want to put on the back of my mind. And then there might be some things that might be really eye-opening to me. And it's just the irony of the fact of how I used to look at TikTok and now how I look at it now is you can get some real deal information through that source, which is another reason why you say they're trying to kill it off, especially here in America.
Man, you know what though? I think the way I think TikTok it was the perfect mix of things, man. It was the perfect storm that allowed for it to become that platform that other ones didn't get, because it was such a little hokey dance app. It was the place people could go to let their hair down and really just be who they wanted to be. So people were going there, they weren't dressing up, they weren't putting their makeup on, they weren't doing their hair, they was just dancing and playing. And then when it became time for information, people just cut the camera on and just talk to it real quick, random. You would never do that on the other platforms, because you had to keep your page looking nice and pristine and professional in order for the algorithm to respect you.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to worry about that on TikTok. So you would go to TikTok and you would get the raw from people, because it just felt like a place you could be free and not judge. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's become that a judgment place, and as everybody comes in, different personalities. Yeah. But initially, what allowed the perfect storm was the fact that people felt free being there, and you could just do what you wanted. and that made it fun.
And you can reach so many people. Like I see, you can go to Facebook, you can go to TikTok, you can go to Instagram, and you can drop the same post on all of these different platforms, but one goes a whole lot further than the other ones do. I see that on a day-to-day basis. I can put the same post on all three.
Yeah. But see, that's because Meta's about that money, though. Meta's like, you're going to have to pay me if you want me to push this to the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And TikTok is like, wasn't on that. It was just like, hey, man, we're going to push it to everybody and see what it do.
TikTok will pay you to push your information.
Yeah. Different
which is
mindset.
Why they want to kill it. Come on now. I've been on Instagram and Facebook way longer than TikTok. I would make way so much more money on TikTok than any of them platforms could ever. You know what I'm saying? I've paid for advertisement on TikTok. I've spent money on TikTok to get stuff pushed into algorithms. I've gotten paid from TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I've spent money on Instagram. I get money.
There you go. That's what you were trying to say.
I get money from TikTok. Like I get money deposited from TikTok, but I spend money on Instagram. It's weird.
Yeah. And they're gonna kill that off. Hey, and it's I don't think it's no accident, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that the tech companies are in bed with the government too. You know what I'm saying? And this is funny because I don't consider myself a conspiracy guy. I don't even say this is conspiracy. I say it is don't we all understand it? You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I mean, because like the government has to be involved with free speech or the illusion of free speech. Right?
Yeah.
So like you think about your Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys, this billionaire guy club or whatever it is. Like you said, they're all in bed together. And
because they want our information, and they got our information.
And they want to be able to control the way that we put out this information on the guise of free speech when it's not really, but they're using it to lure you into it, scam you, you know what I'm saying, and then use the information as they need it or however they want it. So here we go again. We're getting scammed again, even in social media.
And it's just, but social media is media. And this is the evolution of the control of media. We've been understood they control regular media, but now we don't know. We're not clearly understanding the fact that they control social media also. We're late to figuring that out, but they control that also. Like, differently.
Oh, well, I got a platform and I can say whatever I want to say and do whatever I want to do. And I can, you thought. You
say too much, the algorithm will control you. You say too much, they'll kick you off a platform. You say too much, they'll come arrest you at your home. They know they're controlling media. You're not getting nothing out that they don't want out there. You think you about to go break some news. They like, it goes back to what I said earlier. You think you're gonna be a whistleblower and get away with it? Nah, they just like, hey man, you making the whole story better because you sound crazy and nobody's gonna believe that except other crazy people. And then that's where the divide comes in. And no matter how logical you try to sound, saying something crazy, you gonna sound crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I say Jesus talked to me today and Jesus said he coming back tomorrow, I'ma sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was true, like there's no way to say that and not sound crazy to people. They're going, oh, this dude crazy. Jesus ain't talking to you. It can be the most devout Christian. Ain't nobody gonna believe me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Here we go. It's a it's a scam. And here we go. And we're gonna feed right back into it. And it goes all the way back to the Hollyweird thing and the iceberg and the smoke there's fire and all these things all comes together. It all comes together. But here we are. It's gonna be interesting to see how 2025 handles it. Things will shift in a sense.
Yep. So we're going to dive into the reviews here at this point in time. I got this H. Upman. This is where I have smoked this to. This H. Upman. AJ Fernandez. Yeah. Heritage. I smoked it down, man. I smoked it down. This stick right here is a... I'm going to say medium body stick.
Okay.
I'm going to say medium body, but I almost want to say medium to full because there's a there is it almost feels that way. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's a little more medium. Nice creamy smoke on it. Got a great aroma in the air. There's a cocoa taste to there's a cocoa note to the cigar that comes through in the aroma of the smoke. So the air is like a cocoa toasty marshmallow smell right now going on for me. It has the spiciness of that Brazilian that we talked about. It's got a sweetness that comes off of that cocoa. It's got a lot of earthiness to this stick. I would say on the retro hell, I pick up on a little cedar on it. And it's also got I'd say a little bit of a coffee note, but I've been kind of drinking coffee too. So it kind of that always gets a little confusing for me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they start intertwining a little bit. But those would be the majority of the notes I had. Everything was done so well, though. You know, it was good drawing and the good construction on it. I would say this particular stick, man, just felt good to me, man, from the jump. And I enjoyed it so much that from 1 to 5, I'm gonna go with a 4.5 for it.
And we're going back to back mid fours, man.
Yeah.
I think I had a 4.5. You had a 4.4 last week, something like that.
I had a 4.4 last week. I'm gonna go 4.5 this week. And I would have thought going into this that the one from last week would have been better. I had two great choices, man. I'm satisfied either way.
Nice. H. Upman. H. Upman's coming with that consistency. Hey, it's a name that needs to come back strong. Alec Bradley, take notes. H. Upman's in there. I like it.
Man.
So H. Upman. All right, so Ashton, man, this Ashton got off to a really great start, and I would have to say it held that. It definitely held that. Going on some of the tasting notes, because I didn't really get into that early on. I wanted to kind of save it for once I kind of got everything compiled. So when it comes down to it, spice is there, that sun-grown is there, but like I said, it handles that sun-grown spice full body stick with ease. I'm talking about like the ease of smoke is top notch. I don't want to just say just because I'm just that great of a smoker, my palate is mature, but I want to say Ashton did a great job with it. All right, I'm not gonna put it all on me. I'm gonna give it to Ashton. I'm gonna say this as far as tasting notes. Kind of got like this fruit nut type of combination going on. Like you ever had like a fruit nut, kind of like a trail mix type of deal? So like that walnut with some raisin type of combination going on there. Nice little walnut, nice little raisin. And then when that spice is added on top of it, it pairs well. I'm not a big fan of like, say, a tapioca rice pudding or whatever. But have you ever had a rice pudding before?
I have, but I have only had it like once.
Yeah,
about 2 years ago.
They have like some spice on it, like some cinnamon spice type of thing.
Like cinnamon.
Cinnamon, like a cinnamon spice, kind of like that goes with that raisin or whatever. That's kind of what I'm getting, like a little bit like a tapioca rice pudding. Not a tapioca rice pudding. Doesn't taste like that, but the kind of pairing that spice would have with that raisin type of thing with the walnut that goes along with it. So some good earthiness. I'm not getting a lot of cocoa flavors or coffee flavors or anything like that, but more so just on that realm of spice with some fruit and nut. Somewhere in there. Overall, this construction is really nice. This taper, it has like a slight tapered end back here, which makes it really enjoyable to smoke. Like it feels really comfortable, not box press comfortable, but still comfortable. So it gives the smoke experience a upgraded feel. Just upgraded feel. So give it a score out of 5. Give it out of 5. We're gonna go with this Ashton right here. I'm gonna say a 4.3. I'm gonna say a 4.3 on it.
Man, I thought you was gonna go higher than that, man.
I wanted to, but I feel like I need to smoke it a little bit more if I'm going to give it a little bit more room to improve. Because I'm just getting going with this guy. I'm just getting going. I'm still in that first third, and I still feel like it has some room to grow to they keep going up. I don't feel like the cigar's going to go down because, like I said, like I got off to a good start and it stayed right there. But I'm just waiting to see it do a little bit more. That's the only reason why I'm giving it a 4.3. Only because it hasn't done anything else yet other than staying even kill right where I started smoking it at. So I got to give it a couple notches back only because I haven't seen anything
develop
shift. Yeah, I want to see more developed. But so far as this Ashton with a $30 price point, it's not. I'm not giving a knock. So I know we've been rating some 4.5s and some 4.6s and some 4.4s, but keep in mind a 4.3, it's up there for us. It's up there for us. All right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Score. It's like that guy that's going out there dropping 40, and all of a sudden he drops 35. Like, yo, man, you falling off.
Yeah,
it's not a fall off.
Yeah,
it's not a fall off.
Yeah, most definitely. Dope stuff, man. Well, that's the end of this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, man. We up out of here. LeBron, protect the family. Stay away from that fool, man. Protect the family.
Hey, meet the James is the next diss track that's coming out.
I hope not, man. Keep your sticks up. We out.